Good morning. Good morning, Instagram. Hello, you guys. Wow, it's been a very long time since I have jumped on and done an Instagram live just out of the blue, out of nowhere. But my whole being was calling me to jump on. So maybe this is the beginning of me coming back on and sharing more on Instagram live, which I used to do quite often. Good morning, everyone. How are you guys feeling? How are you doing? Where are you in the world? Just share a little bit about where you are and what you're going through, just to drop into the space with all of us. I have been traveling for 7 weeks, a little over 7 weeks. I just got home last night. And I sat in my meadow. You guys know that I am back in California in my car. Where else would I be? 3 days ago I was with the lions, and now I'm with the deer in the meadow. I want to share something that came through that I just feel is extremely important for us to just bring. Connection comes back. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So here's what I want to share. This may resonate with you. This may not resonate with you. But the last couple of days, I've been going through some really intense awarenesses. I would say the last week. Really intense awarenesses. And these are awarenesses of the subconscious, right? So the subconscious you could think of as thoughts that create behaviors that are programmed into a computer, which is the mind, okay? And it's so programmed into the computer that you don't even realize it's programmed. You're just doing it. You may not like it, and you may get upset about it, and you may wish that you weren't doing it. All right. But it is so deeply programmed in there that you almost feel as if you don't have a choice. Okay. Or maybe you have tried all kinds of things to change these like intense, deep programs. I'll give you some examples. One is just a feeling of lack. Like no matter what, you're just never going to have enough money. Okay. That's a program in the computer. Another one is, if I get into a relationship, I'm never fully going to be loved, right? I'm going to have 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out the door, just in case. I don't want to ever get hurt again. Unconscious thoughts. You may not be saying it out loud, but you're diving into a relationship where you're nervous that somebody's going to do something, or you're going to do something to sabotage it. Okay. Unconscious. Even though you're aware of what you're doing, these are deeply, deeply programmed unconscious thoughts creating behaviors that sabotage your entire life. Another example would be with maybe you're a parent, okay? And you just always have this thought that you're never doing it good enough. You're not doing it right? Somehow you're screwing it up over and over again. Right? You're messing it up, and then maybe that actually plays out, and something happens where your child does something and you're realizing, man, I fucked that one up because of whatever. Another example is with your career. I'm never, ever going to be able to be or do what I want to do. It's just not going to happen for me. Every time I start, I stop. These are programmed unconscious thoughts. They're not even floating around anymore. They're just they're in the mind. They're in the computer. And then your behaviors play out based on those thoughts that you absolutely believe is truth, even if you don't want to believe them as truth. That's how programmed they are. And you can practice unprogramming them. You can do all the classes and courses, right? And then all of a sudden, a year later, 2 years later, they rear their ugly heads because something in the external world initiates it, triggers it. And here you are again, finding yourself, right, back in the same place. And then you sabotage yourself by saying there's something wrong with me. Right? There's nothing wrong with you. It's called being in a human experience where there is a deep, deep program in your mind, i.e. computer. And if we don't start really beginning to peel it back and understand how this works, we will find ourselves looping into ways to fix or heal a computer program that has one simple way of unprogramming it, right? One simple way, and it's actually not simple. It is the hardest thing you will ever do in your entire life. And the challenge with what I'm about to share is that you will find yourself in a state of confusion because we have been practicing how to listen to intuition, okay? Follow intuition, which is the body. And we've been learning more and more to discern what is mine, what is not mine. And if my intuition tells me this, I've got to do this. This is really tricky right now. What is also happening at the exact same time is that you're becoming more aware of the subconscious programs, the thoughts that have created behaviors that are sabotaging your highest outcome. And because these are so deeply programmed, the thoughts are so deep in your subconscious that you just follow them even if you don't want to. The behaviors just happen. We justify the sabotage. We say to ourselves, no, I know deep down this wasn't the right job for me. And so I'm just going to leave and find another one. No. I know deep down this person isn't good for me. So I'm just going to leave before I get hurt, or, oh, no. I'm going to find something wrong. I know deep down my intuition is telling me something just isn't right here. This is such a tricky moment in our evolution. Really starting to understand that as our intuition increases, we are also becoming extremely aware of what is happening in the mind, which is the subconscious. And the subconscious messes with the intuition because they are very similar. The reason they're so similar is because you have always followed unconsciously the mind, the thoughts that say, I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough, or I've got to be strong and end something first. I'm a woman, hear me roar. If they don't respect me and they don't do it the way it's supposed to be done, I'm going to end it. All defense mechanisms. If my boss doesn't respect me, I'm going to find another job. That is potentially a defense mechanism. Okay. But it feels right because it is based on the past that is an absolute that has already been done. And so so deeply that if you don't do these things, what has happened in the past is going to happen again. That's how programmed the mind is. And so you convince yourself that it's absolutely the right thing to do. And then it becomes this feeling of like, yeah, my intuition is telling me, right? And then we want to follow the intuition. So we have to follow the intuition. That's what we're supposed to do in life, is follow intuition. And so what so many of us are in right now, dear God, help us all, is the confusion between the programmed mind of thought that's so unconscious you just do it. And it makes you feel better even if you don't want to, so you defend it. You almost fight for it. Like, no, I'm absolutely right. This is the right thing to do. Because it's going to make you feel better. Because it's going to bring you into what you are familiar with. Okay? When you let's forget about intuition, because intuition is always there, right? And it's going to come and go. But what I want us to pay attention to is how what is happening up here will manipulate the intuition, and you will start to defend what is up here, even if you don't want to, in order to keep yourself safe. Okay, that's the self-sabotage, and that's the defense mechanisms. And then we use this intuition as this mechanism that justifies the behaviors even more, or the choices even more. And so here's what I want you to pay attention to, or to notice or think about. All right. This isn't for everybody, but if this is you, this could be life-changing. When you're in a situation, okay, where you find yourself facing some of your most intense fears, and I'm talking about fears where if you were to actually take action towards that fear, you're going to die. You're so nauseous, there's no possible way. You're going to feel completely out of control. You're not going to know what to do. This person may completely destroy you and take advantage of you. The job may, fire you within 2 days and you don't even know, right? You may put all this money into your business and in 3 days it's going to be gone. It's that kind of a feeling. It is a trust fall that I can promise you've never been in. And if you say to me, well, actually, Lorie, I've done that before in the past, and this is what's happened, I would say to you, that is the subconscious convincing you not to do what it is that is being asked of you to be done. So we will always go back and say, well, actually, Lorie, or actually, this happened, last time I did this, ... happened. That is a very beautiful awareness that's showing you that you are continuing to play out subconscious thoughts and behaviors. If you are defending what you're doing because of what's happened in the past, then you are 1000% protecting you from your highest outcome. Because what's our highest outcome is what has never happened before. The highest outcome requires us to do it very differently. And the highest outcome for us is going to be scary. It's going to be new. The highest outcome is not us sitting in meditation, and raising our vibration and saying, mantraing ourselves into something. It's boots on the ground, facing the things that scare you the most, because they have been they're trying to break down defense mechanisms. Okay? These fears that you're facing are the things that you really don't want to do. Like, I don't think I can possibly really trust this person. What if they hurt me? I don't think I can actually trust my boss in this job. What if I lose it? What if I give them everything and they fire me? Or I don't know if I can actually trust just jumping wholeheartedly into this new job I want to do. What if? Okay? It's the what if that's the defense mechanism. It's the what if that is the fear that is based on a past experience. Okay? And it is the what if, or the futurizing, that is stopping you or sabotaging you. And so what we do is we just do the same old thing to keep us safe. And then we say, oh, look, I dodged that bullet. Oh, I ended that relationship because, he was or she was probably going to do ... Well, I got out of that job and found an even better job because I know at the end of the day, that boss was probably going to do ... Or I got rid of that family member and put up my firm boundaries because I know at the end of the day, they would have done ... but it never happened. Defense mechanism. We're protecting ourselves from what may happen based on the past. And what we are being confronted with now is stepping into a higher version. We're being asked to do it so differently. Okay. And we've talked about this for so many years, but it is really being gifted to us right now. We are being asked to do it so differently that God bless you, because it's nauseating. You have to confront your deepest fears, and then you have to jump face first into those fears. That is how you step into your highest outcome. And I'm not joking. This is going to be something that you and I are going to start to experience more and more. It's not enough to just have awareness. It's not enough to just start trying to change our thoughts. It is recognize, it is standing straight in front of what it is you do not want to do. And recognizing that the mind, the computer that is programmed, is going to do everything it can to keep you safe. And it is going to convince you, even through the idea that your intuition is telling you no, it's going to convince you not to walk into that fear, that you're not safe, don't do it, do something else, it's better for you, it's more safe, you'll feel more relaxed, blah, blah, blah. And this is how we stay away from and we hold ourselves back from the next greatest moment in our lives. So you've got to get so precisely, pristinely clear on what's happening up here. And by the way, it becomes much more difficult if you hold a lot of judgment about yourself. Okay, this is hard enough, and I don't care what people say about Lorie, you shouldn't say it's hard. It's fucking hard. Okay, it's hard. For me, it's challenging. I will not sugarcoat this. This is not a walk in the park when I start actually really humanly walking myself through a deprogramming process that is not about love and light and raising my vibration. It's about looking at how deep the human condition is programmed and really humbly beginning to understand from an in-depth scientist type of way that you are now deprogramming how you have been. And that is the evolution in human consciousness. And everything else is playing out at the same time. So you're starting to live in different ways and move into a flow state and open yourself to all these other things are happening. But this up here is first and foremost, and it will continue to bring, you will continue to be brought back to the computer, the subconscious, the mind, the defense mechanisms. Right? You're going to keep being shown. And so if you have judgments around yourself, okay, please, this is very, 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 very important. Try to, one, be aware of how you beat yourself up. Two, be aware of the judgments that you hold about yourself, right? And three, practice not beating yourself up. It's like I'm handing you a computer and I'm like, all right, I want you to go and book a flight somewhere, and I hand you the computer to book the flight. And you're typing on the computer like, I'm so stupid. I can't believe I'm on a computer trying to find an airplane. I should, a flight somewhere. I shouldn't need a computer to do this. Why would I possibly need a computer? But the computer was handed to you. It's what you have. It's the tool that you have. How it's played out is not your fault. And yet you're beating yourself up because you've been handed a computer to find an airline ticket. And you think there's something wrong with that. You've been handed a brain and a mind. You've been placed inside a third-dimensional programmed world that is designed to program this mind. And so now you start to become awake and conscious of all of this programming, and you're beating yourself up. You're beating yourself up because you have been placed in a human experience that has this incredible program, system, computer, mind. And your job and your moment by moment awareness is to become aware of the subconscious and to start learning how to deprogram yourself. But somehow there's something wrong with you. Explain that to me. Make that make sense to me. That this is your problem. It's not your problem. It's the human experience. There's no problem. This is awareness. This is awakening. This is the evolution in human consciousness. This is what it means to have your boots on the ground of this battle and stop playing small by blaming yourself or blaming other people for what is simply just part of the human evolution. And the more that you can stop blaming yourself, and you can start seeing this through the lens of this scientist that is recognizing that they're in this human experience, this human evolution, that is learning how to peel back, deprogram all the ways in which this human has been programmed to be. And it all stems from moments by moments by moments that you're in. Every moment you have with someone, every emotion you feel, every thought you have, every behavior, everything in all of its intensity is teaching you, showing you what you're in, so that you can learn how to do it differently, which is how you get out of the programs. What we have been taught, what we have been told, what we have been shown, what we have been imprisoned in. That's the evolution in human consciousness. And yes, our bodies begin to hold higher frequencies. And yes, all these other incredible things happen. The natural process, the body has to hold more frequency. You're not in charge of that. It's just what's naturally happening. And when the body holds more frequency, the light gets brighter inside the computer. The light gets brighter inside the body, where all the different emotions may be stored and the traumas may be stored, right? Everything starts to get brighter and brighter. And what happens when you are in a really dirty, messy room and the lights slowly start to turn on? You're looking around like, holy shit, this is messy. I had no idea all of this was in here. You get overwhelmed, and guess what you feel? Anxiety. The world is on an anxiety mountain right now because they are in the midst of changing a world within themselves that has been so familiar and comfortable. And they don't have a choice. This is naturally happening. The lights are turning on inside their world. Thoughts are getting louder. Emotions are getting stronger. Behaviors are becoming unbearable. Relationships are becoming unbearable. The subconscious is becoming unbearable, but we don't know what to do with it, right? So we become overwhelmed. Our systems, our circuits shut down. And so there's this overwhelming sense of anxiety for a lot of us because we are starting to unconsciously, you're not even realizing this, looking around and saying, holy shit, what is in my space? What is that? What do you mean that's over here? What do you mean I have to feel that emotion? Like, why is that behavior continuing to unravel? Why is it that I'm starting to step into something that is so beautiful and then I'm sabotaging it because of these thoughts? Why am I having these thoughts? Why aren't these thoughts going away, right? Everything's getting more intense. In fact, so many people are saying, I want out. This is too much. I'm done. All right. Now, a lot of you are probably having the time of your life, and God bless you for that. What a gift that moment is, right? That you are finding yourself so much more free and in flow and beautiful. There is no one way of doing this evolution. There is no one path. There is not the way to go, and it's got to look like this and like this, like this. A lot of us, including myself, I'm literally pummeled on a daily basis by what is being shown to me and what it is that I need to literally sometimes crawl myself out of. And it humbles me because of the deep programming within this mind, right? And that there isn't an easy solution. You can't bypass this. It is a deep, deep understanding and remembrance of what we are in, energetically and physically, and what we are currently going through energetically and physically. And I can promise you that whatever is showing up in your life right now is the most important thing that you need to see and hear and feel in order to navigate what is of your highest good or highest outcome. And I can promise you that it's going to require you to really challenge, and oh God, this is so hard, but really challenge the ways that you have done life most of your life. And pay attention how you will perhaps try to argue for the way you want to do it, right? No, this is the way, this just makes sense. This is how I do it. And this, this is the flow state or whatever that is. Now, I'm not saying that your intuition isn't something you should follow. I'm saying that what we are in is a very interesting, tricky moment, because the self-sabotage based on the deep programming of thought creating behavior that has stemmed from many different experiences in your past is going to convince you that it's your intuition. And so then you're going to say, no, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. And then you're going to go cuckoo for the Cocoa Puffs, because you're going to be like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Is this my intuition, or is this me sabotaging something? Now, again, this is not for everyone, and not everyone is going to be experiencing this, okay? So don't try to fit yourself into this scenario if it's not happening for you. But if this resonates and you're like, holy shit, this is exactly what I've been going through, oh my God, then this is for you. Pay attention to how. Start to pay attention to how there is this intuition that's going to guide you towards doing something. But I can guarantee you that if you tap into what your mind or your thoughts are telling you, pay attention to the thoughts that are trying to connect to that intuition. Because intuition doesn't have thought. It doesn't have a story. And so when you're like, oh, I can just feel something's off, something's not right, something's about to happen, this, that, whatever that is. If you're in the process unconsciously of deprogramming the subconscious mind is going to trick your intuition, and you're going to believe the intuition, and you're going to follow out with these unconscious behaviors that are connected to the subconscious mind, trying to keep you safe. Okay, so when you start following intuition, for those of you that are resonating with this message, when you start to follow your intuition, like, oh my God, I have a feeling I'm going to lose my job. Or, oh my God, I can just feel that this isn't going to work. Or, oh my God, I know this person is lying or cheating on me, and whatever that is, and I've got to figure it out, or I've got to leave. Or, oh my God, I just know that this is about to happen. And so, this feeling of like your intuition giving you a green light for what's about to come. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, because intuition is mind-blowing, okay? Mind-blowing. But if you are if this experience that you're having the intuition with is actually about deprogramming the mind and moving into something even greater. So this job that you're being gifted with, that the intuition is telling you to leave, it might be the greatest gift ever. This relationship that you're sabotaging because of these limiting these beliefs you have, might be the greatest relationship of your life. Do you know what I mean? So we have to start to play in what is being gifted to us right now in this evolution. And it's this seesawing between deprogramming the mind and following intuition, and really starting to dissect both of these, because the mind the mind is so powerful that it will convince you it's intuition in order to keep you safe and to self-sabotage you, right? And so all of this to say, my friends that are resonating with this, is when you feel your intuition going ding, 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 telling you something, I want you to just also play in, what are the thoughts that are connected to that intuition? Okay? What are the thoughts connected to that intuition? First and foremost, say that to yourself. And then recognize, no. This is, your intuition is going to tell you, no, this is absolutely true. Just pay attention to wanting to defend the intuition. That's a key, that it might not be just intuition. So go back up to the thoughts. What are the thoughts telling you? And as you start listening to the thoughts, right, just as the observer, you're going to realize these thoughts are thoughts you've had before in a different situation. I guarantee you 99.99999% the thoughts that are connected to that intuitive hit is connected to a past where something played out. And you're going to say, well, thank God I have my intuition, because now I will know and it won't play out. That's the trick. That's the sabotage. You see, you're basing the intuition on thoughts that are based from a past trauma experience. It's not pure intuition. Pure intuition is just go do this, go say this. Something feels off. I don't think it just is. But when your intuition is connecting you to these thoughts that are programmed in your mind, connecting you to past trauma that you don't want to feel, the mind is trying to keep you safe. The thoughts are trying to keep you safe. So it's saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So it impacts the intuition. And then because you don't actually want to feel what happened in the past, you believe the intuition as the reason for you doing what you're doing, and you sabotage what could be the greatest gift in your life right now. But in order for this greatest gift in your life to be fulfilled, to come true, you have to no longer believe the thoughts that are programmed here subconsciously, that are based in that trauma in the past, that are trying to convince your intuition to do something, which means you have to do it completely differently, which means it's going to feel like you're going against your intuition. It's going to feel like you are doing something so uncomfortable. And you're going to be like, I don't know if this is right. This doesn't feel right. Like, what if I get hurt? What if I lose my job? What if I lose all my money? What if? What if the greatest thing happens when you let go and you trust? What if the greatest freaking thing happens if you just trust? That song by Pink, Trust Fall. It's a trust fall, baby. It's a trust. Imagine that you're just going back. Breaking out of the mind, breaking out of the subconscious, breaking out of programming is like, I don't think we really understand what it requires and feels like. You've got to literally imagine that you're standing on a 10-foot building, and every part of your intuition is telling you not to fall back. And you could argue for that intuition because it makes sense. Why? Because you have been shown in the past that if somebody falls back against, back away from a wall, they're going to die. And so you will convince yourself that the intuition is telling you no. But what if right now, in this life, in this moment for all of us, we are being asked to do it so differently that we have to trust that by falling back, by doing it so differently, we have no control, that something completely different is going to appear. A whole different reality is going to appear. And that you cannot control it. In fact, you can't even create it. All you can do is show up in life. And if life is saying to you, listen, I'm going to connect the dots for you right now. Do you see these really deep, intense, limiting thoughts that you can't stand? Do you see how they may be connected to your intuition? Your intuition's convincing you to do it a certain way. Can you see that intuition is actually keeping you safe? It's the same thing that you've done over and over and over again. And can you see how these are related to the past? And can you remember that in every now moment you are creating new, not from a past, but from a newness? And that if you can trust that, you will absolutely have to do it very differently. And that very different way of doing it is not going to be comfortable. It just isn't. You're going to have to feel your deepest fears. And we all have different fears, right? Most of the fears are going to be stemmed in vulnerability and being out of control. So there's a high probability you may lose your job. You may lose your money. You may lose the love of your life. Your heart may get broken. These are probabilities that are available when you have to trust and move towards your highest outcome. Keeping it safe and doing it where we are in a contained, controlled environment where we do this and then we do this and then we do this is very beautiful. It's a very beautiful way to create life. It's a very beautiful way to manifest your life. But I can promise you, in the evolution in human consciousness, your highest outcome is not playing out yet. Your highest outcome, it's like you're in a training zone, okay? And the soldiers that keep going, they keep moving forward, are the ones that are pushed to their limits where they think they're going to die. That they cannot go on. That there's no possible way they're going to survive this, but they do it anyway. And guess what? They survive it. And they come out on the other end completely changed. And then there's some of us, God bless all of us wherever we are, but we're like, nope, I don't believe it. I don't trust it. I'm just going to go back and do what I do. And what I do is great. And it works. And it makes sense. And I'm happy. You know? But this is where we're at. This is like a whole other level. And I also want to say, like, what we're doing is, I'm going to go to my yoga class. What we're doing is just not, we're never going to know what we're doing until we're doing it. You know, we just won't. And this evolution, my friend, I want you to understand this ascension, this evolution, it happens in life. It happens in these moments. It happens in the pain, in the fear, in the disgust, in the uncomfortable. It happens in the moments of life, not when you are blissed out, not when you are in these high vibe places. We are on a very controlled planet. We have been deeply manipulated and controlled within the computer system called a mind. And we are just now beginning to pull ourselves out of this real deep programmed computer system. And we're going to find ourselves in the next couple of years realizing how deeply programmed we actually are. And that if we don't dive into courageously, vulnerably, consciously, clearly, and courageously begin to start looking over and over and over at this miraculous computer system that's been programmed, everything else we do to feel blissful and to feel love and light and all of that is only going to last for a certain amount of time until we are pummeled back into this. Because you see, there is this incredible God particle within you. There is this incredible soul that is bursting within you all the time, right here, right now. But its highest potential and your ability to connect, to activate, and to live as soul or as this God particle all depends on if you understand the power of this. And so in order for us to integrate fully into body as soul and accessing and being with this God particle, the first step, aside from awareness, is understanding and deprogramming this mind. It's crazy. Anyway, I haven't looked at any of the comments, but I really hope that this was useful for you guys. I will save this. I will place this up on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Please join me. I am back in full effect. 7 weeks in Africa has changed me in more ways than I could possibly freaking imagine, like it always does. So I will be doing my Untangled episode again. I will get back into my Untangled episodes, which are every Tuesday, 9 a.m. on YouTube. I love you guys. Please pass this on to anybody that may need to hear it. Because, you know, we're all trying to navigate this, and we really don't know what we're doing. And it takes a lot of courage and clarity and compassion and vulnerability. So thank you for being here this morning. And I will see you all, I'll see you Tuesday, 9 a.m. California time on my YouTube channel for Untangled. And maybe I'll be popping on again live before then. Who knows? I love you guys so much, and share this message. Mwah.